Hello everyone, and here I go again with another first impressions mini review video based on my personal gameplay on Resident Evil 3, the remake.
There he is.
Which I just completed for the very first time right after completing Resident Evil 2 remake just a couple weeks ago. If you still haven't seen that video yet, feel free to check it out should you want to prior to proceeding with this video, which I highly suggest because a lot of the things I love about Resident Evil 3 Remake overlap and are similar to those in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Obvious things like the graphical enhancements, updated control settings, camera controls, etc. Things that I won't repeat in this video. Personally, I feel like Resident Evil 3 Remake had a more cinematic vibe, at least for me. And I want to emphasize that what I'm going to say and share on this video is solely based on my personal playthrough alone. Resident Evil 3 Remake cinematics felt like they added quite a level of thrill and fear, especially during the interactions with Nemesis. That said, I enjoyed it just as much as the Resident Evil 2 Remake. Even though I did play the original versions of the Resident Evil games, briefly, I must reiterate, I never got to experience them thoroughly. For those who are new to the channel or stopping by for the very first time, I've already explained in my Resident Evil 2 Remake mini review video why I didn't play the original installments all the way, so I won't repeat it here again. That said, I'm really glad I finally had the chance to dive into these remakes, which I've been enjoying so much.
There.
Even though I never got as immersed in the original installments as I have with these remakes, I know a lot of hardcore fans prefer the originals, and I totally understand and respect that. Because it's kind of how I feel about the classic Super Mario Bros. Games, the original 8-bit and 16-bit versions, which I can always go back to, pick up, and enjoy anytime over the newer installments that have come out in the last few years. Although the newer Mario games are not remakes of the originals, of course, I still just want to say how I truly understand those preferences of the original Resident Evil games over the new remakes. And now I can't wait to dive into the Resident Evil 4 remake next. Now the biggest and only con I have about Resident Evil 3 Remake is that it's pretty short. Too damn short. Even though going in I knew it was on the shorter side. In fact, I've always known that Resident Evil 3 is among the shortest, if not the shortest, from the series, excluding the handheld ports of course. As you can see, my time was not great and nothing to brag about either, but I do gotta admit, I sure dicked around a lot, explored more than necessary, and saved a lot, as you will see as well on my number of saves I did, especially in the areas like in the hospital and the lab. I can confidently say I sure spent about a good hour and a half in the lab alone, when it would usually take around 30 minutes to complete, including the final Nemesis battle. And speaking of the lab, funny thing happened to me. In the lab section, there's a puzzle where you need to create a vaccine by combining two components, the antigen and the adjuvant. I believe that's the name. After gathering these two, you have to insert them into a machine and adjust 3 temperature controls to the current levels. Trick is to set the controls to the right temperatures, mid, high, and low, to successfully synthesize the vaccine. I have to admit, I solved this puzzle purely by luck. I was just fiddling around with the switches, and before my brain cells even had a chance to start working and figure out the exact solution, the levels adjusted perfectly on their own. It was a fun little moment of serendipity. But kind of a letdown because it was over before I even had a clue to process what the hell I was supposed to do. So even though Resident Evil Remake is definitely on the shorter side, I initially found myself wanting a bit more gameplay. I also have to admit that with my current adulthood life, it's actually a nice thing. Given my current busy schedules and the limited time I have for gaming, it's one less game off the backlog, and that's actually a relief. I know this sounds a bit contradictory, but it's the truth. Now, having to be a remake game, I think it would have been a perfect opportunity to add an additional area or two to complement the story. Not necessarily as a DLC, but just to make it a part of the base game. But that's just my personal opinion, as a remake version. So this is pretty much it. My first impressions video on playing Resident Evil 3 Remake for the very first time, now in 2025. Which I truly believe it holds up pretty damn well. But let me know if you have enjoyed the remakes, or even more so than the originals. Or in the contrary, if you have enjoyed the originals more than the remakes. So thanks for watching. If you like this quick first impressions video or end up enjoying what's on the rest of the channel, don't be shy to hit the subscribe button and follow for more content like this.
All power sources activated. Powering
You think I don't know how to fuck you up?
Fatality.
Good riddance.